Hey guys, welcome to Basic Brunches, where basically a group of us friends just hang out, drink, and talk about random nerdy stuff. Enjoy! I'm Stephanie, and I am drinking a peach wine with peach mango juice.
What's up, my peoples? My name is Carla. I am drinking coffee. I don't usually drink coffee. I am a fan of Lord of the Rings, Back to the Future, and cartoons.
Hi, my name is Lucas. Three things that I'm a huge fan of is period dramas, wine, cooking. I love to cook. My drink of choice today is cold brew.
Hi. So I'm Eunice. I am the designer for My Hamachi Designs. I am actually drinking a Fallout tea. I'm into Undertale. I'm also a fan of period dramas, but Chinese period dramas.
Oh, interesting.
And that's my forte. And I'm really into my dog. He's really cute.
Let's get down to brass tacks. What fictional gadget would you love to have?
I would say Harry Potter's Cloak of Invisibility. I love scaring people, so I think that I would use it for that.
I remember when I was little, I want the Doraemon 4D pocket where he just grabs everything out. I can stuff anything in there. I can stuff food in there.
I had a gadget. It would be a gadget that would make people shut up.
That universal remote from Click.
Yes, the remote from Click.
Oh, yes. Oh my God, I didn't even think about that. Yes.
The universal translator that's in Star Trek, because come on y'all, we can understand cats and dogs with the universal translator, nah? Who was your favorite character?
I love Hamilton. George Washington has to be my favorite character.
It's funny, my favorite character is actually Peggy.
Yes.
The other person I loved the most was Eliza. She's caught in this, I should have said something, but I didn't. I just want my sister to be happy, but now I'm unhappy, and...
Angelica?
Angelica?
Or sorry,
Angelica.
Angelica, that's what I meant.
They drive the show.
Yeah.
They're...
Yes, so I really like them.
It's funny that you mentioned Angelica, because she was one of my top favorites. Her, along with John Lawrence. What did you think of King George III?
I think that was amazing. Jonathan Groff did stupendous.
Yes.
It's also a very hard part to do because you're trying to be funny and you're the enemy or the villain in the story, which is really hard to do. Also, I'm going to give him 10 out of 10 in spitting.
Yeah.
And I love King George. It's just, he's so flamboyant, and I love it. And apparently it's supposed to be historically accurate, because King George apparently had I guess it's a neurological issue that actually did have him drool all the time.
I really like King George. He didn't steal the show for me, which is good, because I had heard so many good things about him, and I'm like, he only has 3 songs? He shouldn't steal the show. And he didn't for me, but I did like him a lot.
King George was kind of the Deadpool of Hamilton music.
That's a great way to put it.
What was your favorite song?
One Last Time. Oh, it's so good. I cried. I was like,
You'll Be Back. This is such a cute song, but it's about murdering people.
Skylar Sisters is my favorite song. It is just so catchy. I find myself humming it out of random, and I was like, oh, okay, that's the one I like.
My favorite song was Who Lives, Who Dies, Who Tells Your Story. Look at what these women did. Look at what these people did. And I'm like, yeah.
What was your interpretation of her gasping when she turned around? There's so many interpretations.
Yes, let's talk about this. I thought she was seeing God because she's going to heaven, essentially, or, to the afterlife or whatever. So I think she was seeing her image of God.
I think it's more of a cry of relief, excitement, and just being proud. Another Lin-Manuel musical is In the Heights, and when the grandma wins the lottery and she's like, okay mama, and she just explains.
It's that relief.
Exactly. That's how I
That
thought
movie's
it.
coming out soon.
I always thought there was a theory about it, because the director and Lin-Manuel, they both were like, no, that wasn't part of the script. It wasn't something that they told her to do. And I was curious if that was her way of breaking the fourth wall and seeing the diversity
That's what I
of
thought
the audience.
too.
Yeah, I'm going with that one.
I thought it was her turning around and seeing the audience, because the whole song was about will people actually know your story? So for me, my interpretation is too, she turns around, she sees the audience, and she's kind of a relief. She's like, oh my god, people know she got that justification of what she done like throughout her life.
And she was such a philanthropist throughout her entire life too. Like she really tried to do good.
Awkward segue. Animal Crossing, Sims, simulation games.
So I'm a huge Sims fan. Huge. I've been playing Sims since I was like second grade. Sims now, it's evolved so much, and it's harder to understand it now because Sims uses a lot of their nostalgia of their game to create more content for it. I like to build on it. That's my favorite thing, is just building. I don't really like to do like the live gameplay with the Sims. Like I could care less about my people.
I don't play it.
If I'm gonna waste my time playing some stupid game, it's gonna be Legos.
Simulation games? Nope. Lego games on my DS is the closest thing. I don't play simulations games. I definitely get the hype in it, but I feel like what he said, you have to start from the very beginning to get the nostalgic feel and want to play it.
I love Animal Crossing. I play it every day. But I've actually never played The Sims. I watched other people play it when I was growing up, but I was kind of like, oh. But now I like watching people play Sims, especially Call Me Kevin. Like his sim, like all evil.
Cool. So,
anyways, okay. Animal Crossing. It's cute. It's really cute.
Animal Crossing is so cute.
I personally think it's really customizable. Like, I personally think like you have a lot of freedom to do with your island. You can like terraform, delete like rivers, create your own river. I think like my island aesthetic is very Chinese. Like I have like, you know, Chinese imperial furniture and that kind of stuff. I can actually invite like villagers with amiibo cards. So I bought a lot of amiibo cards specifically with villagers with Chinese housings to like match my whole aesthetic.
That's kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah, you can design your own clothes now, which is I really love.
Can I visit your island and like chill there?
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like you want to.
No, actually, I'm just like, it's still work in progress. It's kind of ugly on one side because I haven't like destroyed everything yet.
Since you found your inner nerd, inner geek, has the community changed since you started? And are there any challenges or advice that you'd like to give to people that aren't sure about the nerdy life?
I think I'm most recently into the geek culture or what it is. I don't think I can speak much of how it used to be, but I've noticed a lot of how the mass voice is very strong and can change something that it doesn't like. And I feel like as viewers, we forget that a lot of people put their heart, tears, and sweat into these projects. And if you don't like it, then okay, it's fine. Going back to what Lucas said about hearing reviews or seeing how King George stole the show and he only has 3 songs, those reviews had already had an impact on his own personal experience on watching that show. For advice and for just a general observation on the whole topic, I would like to express how if you identify with a movie, comic, cartoon, song, and that's what speaks to you and you think it's cool, and someone in the internet says it isn't, that doesn't devalue what it is that you are, and you shouldn't really take things at heart.
Growing up in a small town, it's like trends came through with us too as kids, but we didn't know how it related to the world. So like my whole experience with like geek things or things as you know, when we're kids is very skewed. But then growing up, it's like, it's not so much about the trend anymore. Now as an adult, it is what I like is what I like. I don't care what anybody else likes. And I wish I had that as a kid because I feel like I'd be a more rounded person as an adult.
Yes.
Because I was so focused on the trends as a kid. Now I'm just like, oh, if I just did what I liked as a kid, I'd be into so many more things. And
you still can.
Yes, and that's the thing. Like I really have as an adult now.
You know, I was watching anime growing up. I just didn't know it. I was watching like Totoro, Doraemon, Sailor Moon. I didn't know it was anime until 5th grade when I started watching Inuyasha. At that time, I was in a private school. I was in a Christian private school, and I was relentlessly bullied. As I said, growing up, I was always a weird one, and in a Christian private school, it's even worse.
You've blossomed into this beautiful flower.
Thank you. I'm a Venus flytrap. So thank God, like for me, like I didn't pressure myself to do the whole like oh my god, I gotta pretend, gotta be a closet, don't show it. Thank God to my parents, who was always just kind of like, do what you want.
Ever since like Big Bang Theory, it's like, oh, geek this, geek that, geek, and
Yeah.
it's like, yeah. So I
And it
get
took
it.
a show like Big Bang Theory to do it too.
Right? So it's just kinda
Seriously.
What about sports? Or, you know, like that's the same kind of fandom that people take out
Right.
to that.
Right?
the thing about geek culture, it definitely has like grown a lot. It's definitely more embraced, but it wasn't easy for us OG geeks.
You know, with working in the convention circuit, I realized there are a lot of people that think they're all that because they know people. And I'm like, that's the first step of establishing yourself. The second step is making yourself somebody to remember. And being a dick is not the best way, brusky. The elitism and the superiority complex is just like, look, I get that you were torn down when you were younger, but this doesn't make it any better. This doesn't mean you get to tear people
Exactly.
down.
It's not justification for what you're doing right now.
It's the whole like the abused becomes the abuser,
Exactly.
you know?
Correct.
And it's that
Exactly.
cycle that we have to break.
Game time! So I've assigned everybody here to play the game of 2 truths and a lie.
When I was 10 years old, I stuck a piece of paper up my nose that I almost had to go to the ER. Second one, I have a tattoo of my childhood puppy named Chocolate, and I met Anthony Ramos, who plays John Lawrence.
Like,
Yeah.
I vote for number 1.
I was gonna vote for
the
number
paper,
1 too.
but I want to pick number 2.
Stephanie, you are Sherlock Holmes.
I've had an exorcism performed on me. I've been to the hospital several times because the dog mauled my face. I've had a lizard model for me before.
I'm gonna say the first one.
I'm gonna say the first one.
See,
Wait, no,
yeah,
she
I
does
was
the
gonna
Christian
say that.
school. I'm allergic to pumpkin. I was showing dogs hit the ground and ate dirt. I threw up on a roller coaster at a fair, like a little county fair. I threw up and just like threw chunks all over everybody sitting in front of me.
I picked it at number 2.
I'm gonna say the pumpkin.
I'm gonna go with pumpkin.
Lie is actually throwing chunks up at him.
I've met Dwayne Johnson. I used to play casual rugby, and I have been referred to as Madam Vice.
Rugby.
I'm gonna say Madam Vice because I have no idea what the fuck that is.
I'm gonna say rugby too.
If
Y'all
this is
wrong.
wrong,
You've never met Dwayne?
I saw him at a premiere when I was working premieres, but I never interacted.
Um,
We're wrapping up. I just want to give everybody an opportunity to do a shout out.
to build the ambiance that I am in right now, and for any tabletop games that you would like to play, I turn on a candle from Cantrip Candles.
Please vote.
Mm.
Wear a damn mask.
mm.
If anybody wants to see like some food inspiration or wants to like get ideas or just see what I'm doing in the kitchen, I have an Instagram. It's my sarcastic kitchen.
I am the designer of My Hamachi Designs. I make matching clothes for you and your pets. I also have a skincare line called Rare Rose Collections and use all natural as much as we can. We also have sanitizer available as well. I might be starting something to teach Chinese history and culture and fashion, so be on the lookout for that.
Retro Crew Reviews is a Nerdbot live stream that happens every other Friday evening, and we watch movies that are at least 20 years old that I've never seen personally, but everybody else has, and we break down the directing, the story, the acting, and all that fun stuff. So definitely tune in. I think the next one is this Friday. Thank you guys so much for checking us out. Thank you, Carla, Eunice, and Lucas for being panelists on Basic Brunches. Definitely check the future videos. Every Sunday we have Basic Brunches talking about basic stuff. Thursdays we have Nom Talk. And every Friday we got some alcoholic educational videos on how to make and knowledge about beer. And we'll see you guys in the next video.
Woo!